now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Yes, I am here bright and early. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. What beautiful people are joining me this morning? Let us have a look. We have Evelyn. Good morning to you, my dear. Rainy day. So I want you guys to stay safe as you traverse the roadways today. Mitzi is here for it. How are you, lovely Mitzi? Morna, good morning, my dear. We've got, yes, it's a wet day. Miss Janet, thank you, Miss Janet. Lizette says blessings and rainy day. Crystal is all excited. She's saying it's party time. I don't know what kind of party Crystal is having, but we need to find out. Good morning to Kizzy. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning to Ms. Beulah. Good morning, Brandon. See a couple messages coming in. Let me just check my different news sources. Let us see what's going on. Let me see. Good morning, everyone. We have got Brandon. Buenos dias. Good morning. Miss Nora is here. She wants to know what's going on in Newlands this morning. Lots of police and fire trucks around the Newlands area. I'm about to check my WhatsApp messages, so give me a second to see if we can figure out what is going on. Let us have a look. All right. Okay. All right, folks. All right. I'm checking on that to see what the deal is. Good morning, Siobhan. Richie is here, says lovely bright shirt. Yes, sir. Some days you got to brighten it up a little bit. How are you? Let me see here. What else have we got going on? Tracy, all the way from Jamaica, says, good morning, Sandy. Raining from yesterday nonstop. Well, we just started getting rain today, I'll be honest. Yesterday it was a little overcast, but there wasn't much in the way of rain. Irvin is saying to check my WhatsApp. I've got a ton of WhatsApp messages. Let me see which ones. I got to try and prioritize. What's going on? Oh, right. So what is this? Obviously, if you send me voice notes, I can't listen to those. It's actually, is it a fire? Is it an accident? What is that? Yeah, so a lot of people have been messaging me about something going on in Newlands. So heavy police presence, more like the fire trucks, I think, the rescue services than anything else. I've got a video here. Let me just have a quick perusal. Oh, snaps. Oh my God. Okay, we got it, folks. Hold on. What the? Listen, folks, you got to keep me in track. No profanity. I'm going to give you guys an update in a second here about what happened at court yesterday. Andy, Sharon, let me just bring in exactly what's happening. Wow, this doesn't look good. All right, give me one quick second. You guys know we got it We got it popping here for you. So give me a second to pull it up. And I should tell you exactly what's going on in Newlands. It doesn't look good. But here we go. Here we go, folks. Ready? This is what's happening in Newlands this morning. Why you've heard all the sirens going off. Door. Hold on a second. Let me see that again. I think this is right next door to where I used to live. It looks like that could be it looks like that could actually be a roof fire, like maybe lightning hit the wow. Maybe lightning actually hit the roof of that house. Whoa. Not good. Crystal says, I heard the trucks going down. Sounds like the apocalypse. Oh my gosh. I always hate to see things like this because, you know, unfortunately, that's somebody's house, you know? Wow. All right. Let me see if we can get some additional details. We'll reach out to the police. Okay. Give me one quick second here, good folks. Unfortunate this morning. Don't know how bad that damage is, but it doesn't really look good, to be honest. So this looks like quite the situation this morning. Okay, so let us try to figure this one out. All right. Wow, this is quite unfortunate. All right, folks. Just trying to see that. Yeah, this is not a good situation at all. Okay, so let's see what more details we can figure out on this one here, folks. We'll get some more information as the morning comes in, no doubt. Irvlin says it's a huge fire. Good morning, Olivia. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Hello, Miss Shirley says it's a rainy Tuesday morning. Take care, everyone. Cecile, good morning. It is most unfortunate that I'm really hoping that no one has been injured in this fire. Because yes, it is definitely most unfortunate that someone's having to wake up this morning to deal with that situation. Yeah. All right, let me see here. Let's see here. Very unfortunate. So listen, yesterday we were monitoring this hurricane, Eta. I don't even know how you're going to pronounce all these names. It's like we're literally running out of names on both alphabets. The Greek alphabet is quickly progressing. And it is only November the 3rd, folks. I mean, we still have some time left in the official hurricane season. And remember that even outside of the hurricane season, we can still get a hurricane. And this year, this is 2020. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to put anything past 2020 in terms of what could potentially happen, because it's just been one of those years. It's like expect the unexpected, right? So let us continue to monitor this storm. One of the projections with this storm, quite interestingly enough, I want to show you guys this, is that it's headed to Honduras, Nicaragua, and it could very easily turn back and basically head back to us, which is crazy. I know that sounds crazy, but it certainly would not be the first time that this has happened with a hurricane. There's been a couple that have done it. And in fact, was it hurricane? I can't remember the year that we had Ivan. I don't think it was Ivan, but there's another storm that did that. It like looped, it passed us, and we're like, okay. Phew. And then it looped up and it came right back down. It was like, what on earth? So hurricanes are unpredictable, folks. At the end of the day, unfortunately, this is what we are having to deal with. So just have a look at this. I think you'll find these projections interesting and what could potentially happen with this hurricane.
So let's talk real fast about Eta. Eta has 130 mile per hour winds. That's Cat 4, guys. That's the very bottom of Cat 4. You can see a little eye right there, and man, this thing is headed to the west-southwest now, very slowly, but it's headed towards Nicaragua and parts of Honduras. But look at this, Thursday morning, it's already a remnant low, but here's the problem. Then it turns, and the Hurricane Center has it by Saturday this weekend, actually coming back out over the Western Caribbean and trying to reform. Now winds going back up to 35 miles per hour. That would be a depression if it forms at that time. This is why we have to keep an eye on it. You can see the models are turning it to the north. Now what's happening, the green here is high pressure. High pressure is actually protecting us, right? It's keeping it down to the south. That's going to vary on these models. How big is the high pressure? Where is it? This is Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. You can see where the models, the GFS at least, think something's here. What's that going to do? This is a long time out in time to say that that's what's going to happen. Right now, the GFS takes it up maybe somewhere in the Western Panhandle. That will likely not happen, but it's going to be something here. And so we're going to have to watch it very closely for you. Can you believe this list of names, guys? 28 named storms. That ties the record, all-time record of storms of the season with 2005.
All right, folks. So 28 named storms. This is no joke. I think at the end of the day, when they said that this was going to be an active hurricane season, sometimes I feel like we hear that all the time. And so when they say it, you kind of don't really, you're like, you don't take it seriously. But this is the thing, right? You cannot not take it seriously. Because unfortunately, like I have said before, this will be the one year that everything just starts to go crazy. And so predictions were for a very active hurricane season. And by all accounts, those predictions were spot on. And so here we are, 28 named storms in one hurricane season. Did you say 28 or 29? It's a lot. And so that's a record tying 2005. And I do believe that we will be having more than that. I think we can expect at least one or two more. Yeah. Okay. Can't find. Okay, let me see here. In addition to that, I've got a little bit of a tech situation going on. So I've got some situations here. All right, folks. So let's see. We're gonna have to sort something out here with these folks. All right, good folks. Putting out several fires here. Okay. So tech support has been notified, folks. There are times you gotta have more than one thing in the air at the same time. All right. Yeah. Okay, let me just see here. Okay. So we are definitely keeping an eye on this storm. Like I said, our greatest concern is definitely the capacity of the storm to circle back on us. Whoa, it's coming down out there. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me just, my apologies. Okay, very good. You know how you discover something and you think that you're the one who's like crazy because tech support is telling no, that's not an issue. And you're like, are you sure it's not an issue? Because this is what's going on right now. And lo and behold, it is an issue. So I just had one of those moments. So I apologize for the concentration on something else. All right, let's get back to the topics at hand. Yes, good morning, Shadeen. That is Hearst Road. I was thinking it was a little bit further down in Newlands, but it could very well be Hearst Road. Brandon shares that lightning struck one of their trees last night. Oh my gosh. And of course, now there's a roadblock by Newlands going towards Countryside. Thank you for that. Now, Shadeen, is that on the main road that it's blocked, or is it actually down on Hearst Road? It's probably on Hearst Road from the looks of it. So, yes. Okay. I'm going to just post this up as well. All right. So we'll try to ascertain how bad this is. Hopefully, I mean, no fire is good, but there've been some times. I know there was an incident a couple months back. Remember, there was a fire in the district of West Bay, and it was a similar thing. It was actually a lightning strike that hit, and it turned out to be someone that I know, my girlfriend's roof. So when I got the footage, she's in my news group, and she was like, by the way, that's my house. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. This is the thing with Cayman being so small, right? You're bound to know people when tragedy strikes, when things happen. And of course, it's always shocking and surprised when you hear that this type of stuff is going on. So I'm praying that I feel like I know where that house is. I'm not getting a proper visual in my brain right now, but it's probably one of those things where you've passed it a million times and, you know, it's right there in Newlands. So we're hoping that it's not anything too destructive, but normally any sort of fires is not good. Because even if the fire itself doesn't destroy a whole incredibly severe, it tends to cause issues. And, you know, you could be looking at having to replace an entire roof right now, which is crazy. But we're going to definitely keep an eye on this situation. So we are certainly thinking about the homeowners at that property this morning. As soon as I know some information, because it's so physically close to me, I kind of feel like we'll get some details a little bit later on this morning on this situation. And we will certainly keep you guys up to speed and updated. Okay, good morning, Somerset. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi, Miss Nora. Yes, my dear. I mean, phew, it's crazy. So let's just pray about this. I mean, we don't know the extent of it. They may not have lost everything yet. So let's hope that it's minimal damage. And, you know, like I said, as soon as we get some additional details, we will certainly let all of you know the status of this situation. Really sad this morning. So thank you so much to the Cayman Islands Fire Department. You know, they work, I think, a lot harder than most of us want to give them credit for. It's like one of those things where you don't, you know, fire services, you don't see them until you need them. But when you need them, trust me, you want them to be there. So I absolutely agree with Leroy. He says 2020 has been one heck of a year. I know everybody keeps jokingly saying about 2020, like what next? I almost want to forewarn people, do not ask a question. If you're asking for all right, so we'll definitely keep you updated. Michael says, are people getting ready for the hurricane that might come on Sunday? Well, I certainly hope so. We just, I know I'm reading your comments a little bit behind, but we obviously just showed the pictures. Leroy, thank you for reminding us about Honduras and Nicaragua. I had some footage here. Oh my gosh, Honduras got smashed really, really hard. it doesn't look good for Honduras. I'm going to show you guys some, let's see, some pictures that I received yesterday and video footage. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to remember who sent them to me. I've got a couple people, Honduras connections, who always send me footage out of places like Honduras. And I'm going to show you guys. This one is just unbelievable. I mean, I saw this and I was like, what on earth? Pictures of flooding. I mean, I almost can't even believe it. I'm like, are you sure this is Honduras? Because this looks like, listen, we saw the flooding that Jamaica had last week with the other thunderstorm, and we thought that that was bad. I'm going to show you guys some of this because this is like crazy. Give me 1 second. There's a video with cows in it. There is, okay, let me show you the cow video, and then I'm going to pull up some pictures as well. So yeah, this is quite shocking. I mean, I was just like, what? This is Honduras right now? Oh my God, those poor people. Oh my goodness. Here's the video footage from Honduras. Check this out. Wow. Is that not crazy? Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is unbelievable. Right? Wow. So we are definitely keeping these people in our prayers and thoughts today. Wow. Look at this. Unbelievable. So the poor cows are just getting washed away. Roy, I've not even had a moment to look at the current status of the storm. We should have, give me 1 second here. We should have an update on where this storm is. So allow me to just get a fix on what's going on with Hurricane Eta. Is that how he pronounced it earlier? So let's see what the National Hurricane Center is got to say about the storm. The bottom line is we will have to watch the storm this morning and going into the next couple days, because there's no doubt that this has a serious potential to come back out into the Caribbean Ocean and to impact us immediately. So let me just update you guys by way of the National Hurricane Center in terms of what is going on this morning. So just give me 1 second here. Good morning, Crystal. Yes, my dear, these pictures and videos are no joke. There was another one that someone sent me that I'll see if I can grab a hold of. JD reminds us that today is reckoning day in the US of A. Trump or Biden, tell the truth. Let's do it in just a minute. Let's do some voting in just a minute. Give me a few minutes here. Evelyn says the hurricane started earlier than expected this year. Crystal is for Trump. All right, hold on. Don't start yet. You guys are going to start World War III here. Evelyn says, yes, it's on Hearst Road, about 3 houses down in relation to the fire. Yeah, I can see you guys already. The flooding elsewhere, all wide territory in Honduras, Sandra. Thank God my family and friends are okay. Oh my gosh, Nora. Yes, wow. Yeah, Crystal, it does look like something like out of a movie. Like you see that and you're like, what on earth is that? Oh, poor cows. Oh my God. There was another one that someone sent me. I think that one was on Facebook. Let me see if I can grab that one. And it just gives you an appreciation. I mean, I know that we have very low-lying areas here in the Cayman Islands. And we always have areas that will flood. I think no matter what we do, we are flat. But I have never seen anything like that in my life. Not even. Not even, what's the, during Hurricane Ivan. Not even during Hurricane Ivan, folks. So the police have just issued an advisory that, yes, they are confirming that there is a house fire, and we'll issue this update here on the website. So I see some of you are sending me some details here, probably about the house fire. Oh no. Someone just said to me it's their sister's house. Oh my gosh. Oh no. All right, so we'll get some details there. Okay, stand by. We are getting some details. Someone just said in my news group that it is actually their sister's house that is the source of that fire this morning. Whoa. I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I tell you what, I always say that this is a Cayman Island, so, as things happen, we do definitely get it right away. So Leroy says, that's an SUV. My car would not have even made it through. Yeah, I mean, listen, and if you're a short person, I can assure you your head would probably be underwater too. But you notice how Mother Nature is so incredibly amazing. Kayla, these are pictures coming out of Honduras from yesterday because of Eta. Is that how we were pronouncing her? Just the storm that is devastating Honduras today. And I do want to get some information. There's a story about 300 passengers being on board of a ferry in Honduras. And I'm hoping that those persons are okay. Just give me a second though, because I do want to see if I can get some more details on this. So yeah, they got caught in this, stormy weather. Basically, the government has said, when you get these advisories, they always say small craft warning. Listen to me, folks. I don't even care how small or big your craft is. When you have a storm out there, you just stay out of the way, because these storms just don't, they don't play around. So I'm going to show you guys this ferry video here. Just give me 1 second. Again, out of Honduras, and I'm hoping that everyone came out safely. So 58 minutes ago, we do have an update. Good morning, Maria. Hi, Louie. Lizette, good morning. And I agree with Louie. It's always, not that, listen, when you have storms of this magnitude, it's not a situation where, even if this happens in a so-called rich country, like say we consider the US a rich country, it's not as though the US will do any better with this situation. Because when you have a situation in America with like these flood zones in Texas, tornadoes, whatever, those people are devastated. Their lives are just turned upside down, for lack of a better word, right? So it's unfortunate, but I do take the point that this is even worse when the country is extremely poor, like Haiti and so on. Those countries will get hit that much harder with a situation like this. And Honduras is a poor country. And so here we are, wondering, these poor people in Honduras, they can't take another storm. They can't take, losing their homes and cars. And, I was paying attention to the situation last week in Jamaica, and the government was making some commentary about the situation there and how many people had lost their homes as a result of the flooding. And, they were trying to dry out furniture and they had lost everything. And it was just like, whoa, how does this even happen? So this is where humanitarian efforts are incredibly important, and where we have to be extremely vigilant about the situation. And quite frankly, we're going to have to help our brothers and sisters around the region. So, we can't be selfish. We've always got to be thinking about other people as much as we possibly can, because we don't know when it might be our turn. Let's be very, very frank about this. So they say charity starts at home, and I'm all for that, but I do appreciate that there are people who, we have our issues here. We have poverty. We definitely have people who are homeless, but that's not widespread. That's not a vast majority of individuals. Those persons tend to be struggling with certain situations in their lives, including, drug abuse, addictions, and so on. And so at the end of the day, there's underlying causes there, mental health issues that definitely need to be addressed. But I kind of feel like, we can address those issues if we do it in a timely fashion, so much more so than a lot of other countries where they've already got some massive issues. So good morning to Jessica. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Sue. Yeah, I think, Sue, that we probably had a little bit of this, because remember, there were areas of 7 Mile Beach where the water during Ivan came up 4 or 5 feet. I didn't personally experience that in Newlands. We had water, mind you. Listen, the canal water, because I was in Newlands close to the canal. Not super close, but in Newlands, right? The canal came up, because I didn't stay at my apartment. I remember my neighbor who stayed said that the water came up to our window outside. And that's the kitchen window. That's a good, because if I was standing outside on the ground, the kitchen window would be like, I don't know if my head would reach the kitchen window, but it would be almost the height of me. And I'm like 5'5". So we had some serious water during Ivan, no two ways about it. No, we've not even had a chance to talk about the shoplifters yet, my dear. And we have to end the show a little bit early this morning, so I've got a doctor's appointment. And then I've got to jettison off to court to cover a story. By the way, Maria, thank you so much. She confirms it's now a Cat 4. I meant to read the update here. So extremely dangerous Hurricane Eta. Is that what we're saying? Eta. Inching closer to the coast of northeastern Nicaragua. Lord Jesus. Life-threatening storm surge, catastrophic winds, Flash flooding, landslides expected across portions of Central America. Hurricane warning continues for the coast of Nicaragua, Honduras. So remember, Honduras and Nicaragua border each other. Sand Bay, Serpi, catastrophic wind damage is expected with ETA's eye wall moves onshore within the next few hours. So this was an hour ago. Tropical storm conditions are occurring in the area. So we have tropical storm warning and hurricane watches for the northeastern coast of Honduras, from Punta Patuca to the Honduras-Nicaragua border. Tropical storm warnings are expected there this morning with hurricane conditions possible by earlier today. And then there's a tropical storm watch for the northern coast of Honduras from west of Punta Patuca westward to Punta Castilla. Tropical storm conditions are possible there by later today. Dangerous storm surge will rise water levels as much as, folks, I can't even make this up, 14 to 21 feet above normal tide levels in areas of onshore winds along the coast of Nicaragua and the hurricane warning area. 3 to 5 feet above normal tide levels along the coast of Honduras. Whoa. OMG. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so hold on a second. I got some information here on what caused the fire, allegedly, because of course we do not have exact details, but of course you guys know we get it. We get it pretty quickly here. So cause of the fire, someone has said, is the water heater blew up. Wow. That's crazy, right? That is crazy. I've never even heard of a water heater blowing up before, but there you go. Certainly possible. I hate water heaters. Can I tell you? I have a disdain for water heaters, the big tank ones. I've been using tankless water heaters for a number of years now, and I would not go any other route. Wow, that's crazy. Hopefully no one was, I mean, if it blew up, maybe stuff went flying. Water heaters are made out of metal. What the heck? Hopefully no one is seriously injured in that. But NOSA. Wow. All right, stay tuned. I'll definitely get you guys some additional information on that, folks, as we hear it. We post up the story, so just check the story, and we will certainly, update you as we know more. We'll update the story. So Arling says that the government doesn't help. Unfortunately, that tends to be the case in most places. So let me just see here. We will continue to monitor that fire situation. Okay, so in terms of this hurricane, wow, if you've got friends, I know a lot of Caymanians are very much connected to persons in Honduras. And so, we've got family members in Honduras, we've got friends in Honduras. And so we will, I'm actually going to see if I can get a hold of someone there who can kind of maybe do a live interview a little bit later on with us to get an update. So please stay tuned. So that we can see what the situation is. Yeah. Okie dokie. So this thunderstorm is not joking. As of 7 a.m. this morning, the eye of dangerous Hurricane Eta was Eta was located about 30 miles, which is 45 kilometers southeast of Puerto Cabezas, Nicaragua. Eta is moving towards the west-southwest at 4 miles per hour, so she's not moving very fast. This general motion expected to continue through the morning. Westward or west-northward motion is forecasted to begin by the afternoon. So listen, maximum sustained winds near 145 miles per hour with higher gusts, which makes it a category 4. This storm is no joke. Minimum central pressure from Air Force Reserve recognize data is 936 millibars. And hurricane force winds extend out to 25 miles from the center of the storm. And if you look at the maps of the area, you certainly get an indication of how big this storm is. So El Salvador, this is the National Hurricane Center telling us to watch out now. Southern Haiti and the Cayman Islands can expect 3 to 5 inches of isolated showers. In some areas, amounts of up to 10 inches. Rainfall can lead to catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding, along with landslides in areas of higher terrain of Central America. So flash flooding and river flooding could be possible for southeast Mexico, Jamaica, El Salvador, southern Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. Now, this is when, I always think to myself, oh, wow, I would love to have some rivers sometimes. And it's times like this that I'm like, you know what? Thank God we don't have any rivers. Because when a river, you see the poor cows, when a river starts to flood, it's not good. No bueno. Maria says it's very sad what's happening over there. Let's pray for them to survive this. Yes, indeed. Jessica, we'll get an idea if there's anything that we can do. At this point, it's obviously too early to say what the position is, but I always say that I'm sure we will be in a position to help, whether that means digging out our closets and taking out clothing and other non-essential things that we do not need at the moment. Speaking of that, folks, I'm going to put a call out there for anyone who has size 18 to 20 women's clothing. So I have a lady who is looking for clothing. She's in need of clothes and any household goods. So if you 18 extra large tops and 18 or 20 bottoms. So if you have any clothing that you have been meaning to donate, like I said, charity starts at home. This is a person who could use your help. So please make contact with me if you're able to assist her in any way. She is a recovering drug addict. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And so on occasion, she reaches out to me for different things, and I try to help her wherever she can, because I'm very well aware of how easy it is to slide back into the world of drugs here in the Cayman Islands once you have been touched by that situation. So I'm always cognizant to just check in on her. Is everything okay? Are you still sober? Of course, I'm not a professional psychiatrist or drug therapist, but just to let her know that people are always thinking about her. And if she needs something, we're here. She doesn't have to feel like she's desperate and has to go out there and steal it or get it any other way. Because, a lot of people feel they have to sell their body in order to get some essentials in this world. And that shouldn't happen, especially not here in the Cayman Islands. So Nora, we will definitely be praying for both Honduras and Nicaragua. She says the destruction is horrendous and the hurricane didn't hit the territory yet. It's expected for today. These videos that you're looking at is just what the rain has done. The winds are expected for later on today. And yes, speaking of the water, look at this, folks. This is another.
Pegó en la arena, está pegado, está sentado. Está sentado en la arena.
Están en 240 millones. Es que está muy, las olas es que esté seco. No, está solvándose el muelle. Ahorita viene el esta que le hace. ¡Pip! No, hombre, que con alma la queda ahí, con personas. Dale un video allá,
All right, Morna, thank you so much for that reminder about Mr. Bodden. I have him on WhatsApp, and I was actually trying to remember his name when I just saw your message. So I've just sent him a quick WhatsApp message to see if he's able to join us from the Bay Islands and give us a bit of an update on what is happening there in Honduras. So buenos dias to Gina. Nora says, yes, the damage at the moment is just what the rain has done. I'm just gonna let him know. Yes. So he may be able to join us. My apologies for not getting to the other stories this morning, but you know what? This show is very much about going with the flow, and we will get to those. Today's Tuesday, so we have an evening show. Don't worry, we got lots of time to talk about shoplifters because they ain't going nowhere. Atlas says the internet connection is breaking up. My apologies. We do have fiber, believe it or not. So, yeah. We have 100 meg fiber connection. So, you know. Yep. Okay, let me just see if our guest in Honduras, if he can join us. Okay, so he said just to give him a few minutes. So we will have a live person joining us from Honduras. All right, folks. Yes, just give me a few minutes to get him on the line. So this is a category 4, certainly nothing to sneeze about or to joke around about. We will be monitoring of loss of life and other things. Yikes. One quick thing to note as well, good folks, is someone mentioned to me that the storm of 1932, which before Hurricane Ivan was our most devastating storm, started in a very similar pattern where it started in that area and then it did like a loop to loop and came right back out and came straight at us. Crazy, right? My concern is, even if Honduras, because you know Honduras, Nicaragua, they've got mountains, they've got, you know, the ability to impact this storm. Even if that happened, honestly, it's the sort of thing where even if Honduras, their mountains and so on, managed to break the storm up a little bit, my fear is by the time it gets back out in the Caribbean Sea, it's coming for us again with a bit of a vengeance. To note as well, sorry, I'm just checking the feed here based on Atlas's comments. I'm supposed to have, like I said, 100 meg connection, so I'm not really sure what is going on there with that, but we'll keep an eye on that, Atlas. Darlene, thank you so much. Walton, yes, talking about the fire in Newlands may have been caused by a tank that blew up, a hot water heater tank. I am telling you, go solar if you can. Go tankless, at least tankless propane, because, you know, I've heard of some horror stories where those big water tanks, first of all, they're inefficient. They're heating water, even if you put a timer on them, they're heating water a lot of times when you don't even need it to be heated. And they store the water in the tank. I've heard of them pipe bursting. They're upstairs. If it happens upstairs, your entire floor upstairs and downstairs gets flooded. So they can be a real pain. So go tankless, folks. It's worth the investment to get a tankless water heater. It pays off in the couple years that you'd have it for. So Sue, make no predictions about a storm like this, because yes, it will turn back around at us. It may have lost some strength. I mean, now it's a category 4. I'm pretty sure the mountainous areas, if it's going over the mountainous areas of Honduras, which I'm not 100% sure that it is, would have the capacity to shred it a little bit. So it's going to get probably a little bit more disorganized. However, please keep in mind that that does not mean that it still couldn't reemerge as a category 2. And then between us and Honduras, there's enough time there for it to pick up speed and to reform for us to be going like, what the heck? So we have our friend here from Honduras, please, joining us. I'm just waiting on him. Oh, here we go, folks. Thank you so much. Dwin, good morning. Buenos dias. How are you?
Good morning. It's a pleasure. I'm doing fine. How's the weather there in the Camana Islands?
Well, we're getting a little bit of, I know the internet connection is a little bit spotty, but tell us a little bit, Dwayne, about where you are. I know you're in the Bay Islands, but give us some more details. We have a lot of people from Honduras tuned in this morning. So tell us exactly where you are.
Well, at present time, I'm located exactly in Roatan, in a community called Sandy Bay. It's a community near the beach. And as for now, there are no rains. We have a little bit of wind. Last night around, let's say around dawn, we had a little rain off and on. Approximately about an hour ago, we also had a little bit of rain also.
Okay. So what are you guys predicting for that particular area of Honduras this morning? Or into the afternoon, really?
Well, thus far, the City Hall extended a note saying that, that we weren't going to be affected too much. As for now, on the mainland of Honduras, Honduras, they're getting over there in
Sorry, Dwayne, you're breaking up just a little bit. Probably if you could, I know you're kind of moving around. It might be best for the purpose of the internet to kind of maybe just stay in one spot. But you were saying, you were breaking up when you were saying that the mainland, that you guys in the Bay Islands might be okay, but the mainland is going to get the worst of it. Is that what I was understanding? Okay, folks, so just bear with us. Obviously, he's joining from his phone, so there's a little bit of connectivity issue. Okay, there we go. So yes, you were saying that the mainland might be getting a bit of a worse situation, or? Uh-oh. Yeah, Dwayne, can you hear me?
the storm hasn't made on land. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
The storm hasn't made landfall directly into the Honduras territory as yet, as far as I'm concerned. But at present time, I think it's over in Nicaragua, over floods, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as for now on the island, there's, like I said, there's a lot of wind. There's big waves, but no rain at present time.
Okay. All right. So we saw a lot of flooding videos yesterday. Flash flooding. We saw a video with some poor cows being washed away. How bad is the flooding in your area, or is that primarily on the mainland?
Yes, that was actually on the mainland. Because as for here on the island, we don't usually get a lot of flooding. Only maybe in capital in town, but none of that has happened thus far. So I'm supposing the videos you saw was on the mainland of Honduras, because there in La Ceiba, I understand a lot of the stores there in town, they have already lost a lot of material
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Okay. All right.
So
Thank you so much, my dear. We will check back in with you a little bit later on. I've got you on WhatsApp. Please feel free to send us any video footage or any messages, because of course, Camana has
it's always my pleasure to be able to inform you.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, dear. All right, so I know the connection was a bit spotty. My apologies for that. Obviously, the internet, just the world over, is a bit crazy. Nora, the WhatsApp number is scrolling on the screen right now, 324-1612, or tips@caymanmallroad.com. You're always able to reach me on that number. Paula Rose says that her grandson is there in Rotan, not sure where he's living with his family. His mother cut off communication completely since May of 2018. Wow. Hoping that they are well and safe. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully, Paula, that yes, he is. So Nora, yeah, I think he's in the Bay Islands. So I guess he's only aware of exactly, what's happening in that precise area. And okay. All right, good folks. So much going on this morning around the world. So let us continue to monitor the situation in Honduras, good folks. We will definitely be updating the website and what's happening there. So please check our social media platforms, Facebook, the website. Nora, if you will send me your friend's information, I will definitely get a hold of her and perhaps we can get an update into the afternoon on what is happening there in Honduras. So as you guys know, I've said it a million times on this show and I'll say it again this morning. We are the Cayman Islands. We have 3 very small islands. We do not live in a vacuum. So we live in a world where, you know, we are connected to other people. So we have friends in Tampa and Texas and New York. We've got friends in Honduras, friends and family in Honduras and Saiba, the Bay Islands, Nicaragua, DR, you know, all over the world. So we care, Jamaica. We care about what is happening other places other than just the Cayman Islands, because these things impact us as well. We can't sit down and be carefree and live a good life here if we know that our brothers and sisters elsewhere in the world is, you know, are suffering. And so that's one of the reasons why I thought it was important when we started Cayman Mall Road to also have a regional correspondent and a regional, you know, source of information. So we do get information from all of those sources. So, wow. Okay, we'll keep an eye on the storm. All right. So, folks, let us consider then the U.S. presidential election. Speaking of storms, this is a different kind of storm, a political storm, so to speak. And I'm curious to know now what you guys are thinking in relation to this storm. I meant to say in relation to the election. So today is Reckoning Day. Couple things that are noteworthy. President Trump has said, and you know, President Trump is crazy. I mean, even if you support the man, at some point you've got to appreciate that this man is not playing with a full deck and he is legit crazy. He has said that if the indications are that he's leading early in the polls, that he's going to call the election and he's going to say that he is victorious even before the final numbers are in. In other words, he's going to call victory before victory can be announced. Who does that, by the way? So Leroy says Biden-Harris for 2020. Crystal, of course, is a Trump supporter, so she's optimistic that Trump will win. One thing that's really quite interesting with the election this year is the early voting is like 90% of what they did in 2016. So it seems like a lot of people are participating. And what is even more interesting is a lot of the marginalized communities who last time didn't vote because they thought maybe they're definitely getting out there and getting their votes in early. So America does allow early voting. People have been standing in line now for weeks, making sure that they can vote. Postal ballots have been going in. So I'm just trying to see if we can get some information. So one of the key things that could cause the president the election is his response or lack thereof to the coronavirus. So on the heels of today, yesterday, he was saying that Dr. Fauci, who has been their, government lead on the coronavirus, was going to be fired after he is reelected. I guess he should say if he is reelected. This is also a president who has said that he will not, even if he's not reelected, he will not step down. What the hell? No president in the history of America has ever said that. Americans have by and large respected the democratic process. Now, it's a little bit confusing how their democratic process works because it is not straight majority. Hillary Clinton had the majority vote by 3 million votes last time, and Trump still got in because of the electoral college system, which gives certain states more voting power than others. And so Leroy says that Trump is a very ignorant politician. Like him or not, I think that that's a fair assessment of his mental state and a fair assessment of the situation. Crystal says Trump definitely needs Pennsylvania and Florida. I think he was it yesterday that he was in Pennsylvania? But I think his handling of the COVID situation is probably what is going to cost him the election. Listen to this. This lady, she is Burks is her name. She is a virologist, I believe. Dr. Deborah L. Burks, who has carefully straddled the line between science and politics as she helps lead the Trump administration's coronavirus response, delivered a stark private warning on Monday, telling the White House officials that the pandemic is entering a new and deadly phase that demands a more aggressive approach. The warning, sent in a private memo to the White House officials on the nation's daily coronavirus caseload, has broken records and approached 100,000, amounted to a direct contradiction of President Trump's false assertions, my apologies, that the pandemic is rounding the corner. In it, Dr. Burke suggested that Trump and his advisors are spending too much time focusing on lockdowns and not enough on controlling the virus. She said in the memo, we're entering the most concerning and most deadly phase of this pandemic, adding this is not about lockdowns. It's about lockdowns since March, or it hasn't been about lockdowns since March or April. It's about an aggressive, balanced approach that is not being implemented. So here we have someone who is part of his team warning him in a private memo, but you know how these private memos go, they always get leaked, that the US is headed for a world of hurt. And listen, elected Biden isn't going to change this. You can't undo the lack of policy, the lack of shutdowns, the lack of all the stuff that should have been done months ago. And that is an issue, you know? So yes, it is very, very concerning that this is happening. And I'm worried for the US. You know, like I said, we've got friends and family there that will definitely be impacted by this. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the government's top infectious disease expert, has been offering unusually blunt assessments and is once again in Trump's crosshairs as a result. At a campaign rally yesterday, early Monday morning, Trump attacked the news media for its emphasis on the virus, which prompted the crowd to chant, "Fire Fauci, fire Fauci." Americans are so ignorant sometimes. I don't want to say all Americans, but certainly a lot of Trump supporters seem to lack intellectual capacity. Why are you going to fire this man? I mean, what is it about America right now that makes you guys think that you have this virus under control? Other than President Trump lying to you, you know, what do you think is going to happen here? So, fire Fauci. Yes, that's going to resolve all your issues. And that's going to change the 100,000 persons per day that are now getting infected. So this is the first time Dr. Birx has, well, she's still not publicly saying anything, but it says here that she's always taken a very measured approach, never to openly criticize the president or his administration. But now she's saying, and she was named to the coronavirus as the corona response coordinator in March. She's now saying that this is not good and it's going to get worse. What is it going to take, folks, for America to realize that this virus isn't under control? They're not resolving anything. They're not coming around the corner, as Trump says. You're going to have a lot of dead people on your hands. Like, what is it going to take? I saw someone send a video, one of these fake news videos this morning. Oh, you know, government's created this virus to try to keep us inside our homes. I'm like, really? Really? You really believe this? The government is going to potentially kill hundreds of thousands of people just because they want you to stay in your house. You know, they are on the verge of hospitals collapsing. In the UK, the NHS is saying hospitals are at capacity. There's no more that they can do if this virus continues on this trend. And their numbers are nowhere near what the US is dealing with. So the UK has gone into shutdown. Everyone, of course, here is asking, what does that mean about the BA flights that are scheduled to come in? I think we're still waiting on official word. As soon as we heard on the weekend that was the case, that the UK was going back into lockdown on Saturday, we reached out to the governor's office to say, you know, how will this impact us? Yes, Darlene, there's no doubt about it that this is a concern of mine as well, as I think the US is going to have some riots. It doesn't even matter what the outcome is. Nobody's going to be happy with the results. Trump has said if he loses, he's not coming out. And I think people are going to, we thought the protests a few months ago were bad. I think it's going to get worse. Crystal says he's not a politician. That's why he won in 2016. Well, Crystal, there are many of us who will disagree with you that he is probably the best politician at playing games, playing the people that you guys have ever seen. He is living a reality life in the White House. He has fooled you guys into thinking that as an ultra rich person, he is for the average person. Meanwhile, just a few months ago, it was disclosed that he paid, what, $750 1 year in taxes? You know, the average American is paying way more than that. So for you to think he's not a politician, for you to believe he has your interests at heart and you've not been played, wow. So we'll see. Crystal Democrats, I don't know about that. Let's see if we can get some early numbers here in the polls. But I think the Democrats are expected to take the House. You know, they've got the Senate. So Americans cast their vote. At least 6 states have already surpassed their total turnout numbers from 2016. So I think a lot of groups who did not go out and vote in 2016 are like, we better do it, because this country is at a very critical point. And I find it interesting how Camanans are so involved in American politics, but the United States of America is at a very critical point in their political landscape. And it's kind of a scary critical point as well. So Darlene says, do you remember Jim Jones? I definitely remember hearing about it, for sure. I remember when all of the blind people blindly followed him up until the very end, drinking the Kool-Aid. That's probably where the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid came from, and ended up losing their lives as a result of it. It's easy to be attracted to one thing about President Trump, and then somehow that makes you ignore everything else that's wrong with the picture. everything else that's wrong with this guy. I mean, he talks about people like, oh, well, Joe Biden is like, might have assaulted a woman, or somebody claims this, whatever, never been proven. But you have an audio of Trump talking about grabbing women by the PUSSY, and that's okay. We ignore that because we like his immigration policy of separating migrant children from their parents and killing them in detention camps. What's the equivalent of detention camps? I don't know, folks. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said to someone yesterday, Sharon, I agree with you when they sent me this video with this guy. I said, if this virus could only target the ignorant people, I would be like, go out there, and for every person that says, oh, this is a government conspiracy and governments are trying to control us, or the virus doesn't exist. Remember the fitness guy in Europe who claims that the virus didn't exist and then he ended up dying from the virus? I don't really feel sorry for people like that because they're part of the problem because they didn't take it seriously. They were out there engaging in risky behavior and probably spreading the virus. But I do feel sorry for the fact that now he's left, 3 children behind, an ex-wife, that he would have been a source of support for those individuals. But unfortunately, this virus does not discriminate. It's not going to pick me versus you or whatever. Yes, we know that people are vulnerable. And, certain categories of individuals are more vulnerable than others. But it still remains a situation where anybody can get this and anybody can die. We've seen babies die, toddlers die, teenagers die, otherwise healthy people die from this virus. So Biden versus Trump. It says here that Pennsylvania's, one of their counties, including Pittsburgh, 3 election districts remain unopened, according to a county official, which is not good. So they've had some delays with the suitcase of voting materials. Apparently, the materials didn't make it to the locations on time. Monroeville, McKeesport, and Pittsburgh remain unopened. So millions of people are going to be out voting. Some have already voted. They're processing this. Michigan's voter is asking for people to be patient at the polls. Michigan has more than 3 million people that have already voted. So like I said, a lot of people participated in early voting. But they're expecting long lines, folks. She says, today is just the beginning. We anticipate long lines. I've encouraged my fellow Michiganders to dress in layers, wear your mask, and be patient. Let's give the poll workers some grace. They're doing an important, tough job today. And they had over mail ballots cast over 63. Is that right? 63 million? In-person votes, 36 million. Total pre-election votes, over 100 million, which is about 73% of the 2016 total vote. So it looks like they're going to have very high turnout numbers. That could be a sign that people actually want to change, folks. I mean, we'll see. Marshall says today is the day around here. Election day is here. People are up in arms and some places are boarded up, anticipating violence already. It's so sad. President Trump, this is the first time that I can recall in recent history that not only was there a violent incident and protest during a person's tenure, but there's anticipated violence during the election process as well. America really doesn't need to look at any third world countries and talking about they can't even have a democratic, peaceful election. because they're the same. You know, they like to castigate Jamaica. Oh, there's always violence in Jamaica. Well, this year around, there was little to no violence with the elections in Jamaica. But look at America, how the tables have turned. Good morning, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi, Crystal. Yep. There's going to be chaos. I think that's predictable. So, folks, listen, I got to jetty out of here because I do have a doctor's appointment. I need to do some blood work this morning. Let me update you with a few things. So, court. Yesterday, I went to court, and the trial was supposed to start with the Mendoza matter. As you guys know, he was on here trying to troll people, and we had to put him in his place. He's the type of person who gets kicks off of what he's been doing. Like, he enjoys harassing elderly people. And that tells you a lot about his character and the type of person he is. Now, if I can get convicted of harassment for a single podcast and 1 or 2 social media posts, why hasn't this guy been charged with anything? Like, it just really makes you wonder. So anyway, showed up to court. The judge is like, well, nothing's happening today because she had previously recused herself from the matter, and it still landed up on her desk. And she can't hear it because that particular magistrate is someone that I went to law school with and someone that I, knew as a friend. So she's recused herself from hearing it because she would be conflicted, or not even that she would be conflicted, but nobody wants the appearance of even being conflicted, right? So, so she's like, walk the file back over to the main courthouse. And then we were looking at a trial date of next year, February. Now listen here, folks, I'm a busy woman, okay? And I said to the judge, I'm not keen on wasting the court's time. I don't want to waste my time. My time is extremely valuable, especially heading into next year when we need to be focused here on Cayman Mall Road on our own election process, our own candidates, make sure that we get it right, because we're also on the cusp of some big changes in this country. And so it was very, very concerning that February of next year would be the first time that I can even get a trial date. And in summary court, how it works is you show up, one witness is called, then they break, then you take another 3 weeks to come back, and another it's like, this is going to be summer of next year before we get a resolution. So I said, Your Honor, let me express my viewpoint on this. During this protest, the charge was disorderly conduct. I couldn't remember what it was yesterday, but it's disorderly conduct. I did use profanity. I've never said I haven't. Sometimes I have the mouth of a sailor, and I probably need to listen to my aunt and really make some adjustments in terms of that. Most of the time, I do not curse, but when I really, feel a certain way, I find it hard to pick any other word to describe somebody like him, but, some of the profane words that we can just plop out. So I said to the judge, I'm not saying that I didn't curse. I'm not necessarily in agreement that amounts to disorderly conduct. So he reminded me of what the penal code says, and in fact, profanity could be disorderly conduct. He also reminded me that this is a very low-lying accusation or offense, and that the most I'd be looking at is a fine of a couple $100. And so on the balance of reviewing everything, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to waste the court's time. I can see poor Mendoza gets his kicks off of this. Him and his wife were there yesterday because they have a lot of time to clearly waste. They have nothing else going on. And they were like, laughing, going out the door laughing. I mean, they're just so childish. It's just unbelievable. But anyway, I decided, you know what? I'm going to take control of this situation. I'm going to nip it in the bud, and I am not going to allow Mendoza to make this the circus that he wants, because he's looking for the attention. He's looking for the news coverage and to have this all over the place. So I said, Your Honor, I'd be willing to plead guilty to it. I did use profanity. If that's disorderly conduct, I'll pay my $300 fine or whatever it's going to be. So we are waiting still. We have to wait on the outcome of the sentencing hearing and the other matter, the Matthew Leslie matter. That has been pushed back to the 26th of November because I will have live witnesses there. So there's a few people who will show up in court and testify to the judge live about my character, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to come out that day, it's 2 p.m. on the 26th of November. I'll remind you guys as we get closer to the date. A lot of you have expressed the desire to come out and share. So by all means, I'll remind you, anybody can come out and sit in the gallery. And I think the more people, the better. Let the judge see, what you guys all think about the situation. Maria says the virus is all over the world, out of control. Not quite, my dear. It's not out of control like the US. Check the numbers. They have superseded India with daily numbers, and India has a population that probably trumps, no pun intended, trumps the US in more ways than one. So let's leave it there. I will update you guys on anything else that's going on in terms of myself with the court situation. Someone wants to know where they can report a probable quarantine breach. And this is crazy. But the police might have to be called in that sort of a situation. I've just gotten some additional videos and pictures of the situation in Honduras. So we will put up the story as soon as we can this morning. Again, please, please, please continue to keep the people of both Honduras and Nicaragua in your thoughts and prayers. Americans, please go out there, vote, be safe, and try not to engage in the violence. You are setting an example for one of the worst, elections and probably in your entire history. So yes, Maria, England is going into shutdown because they're a little bit smarter than the Americans. They're not waiting until they have 100,000 persons per day. They're going in shutdown. If you guys read the article from over the weekend, you will actually see that they are going in shutdown with, I think, around 20,000 new cases per day. But they're trying to nip it in the bud. And you see, this is the kind of response that the Americans could have taken, Maria, but they didn't. And that's why they are projected to have another 200,000 persons die during the winter months. So, yeah, that's what it is. All right, good folks. Have a beautiful day. We'll be back this evening. And we'll talk about the shoplifters tonight, and we'll hopefully get some updates on the election and to see what else is going on. All right, good stuff, folks. Be safe. It's a rainy day out there. Take your time on the roadways. We'll try to get some additional information on the situation with the fire, and we shall update you guys accordingly. Be blessed, not stressed. Take care for now.